My name is Lauren Allen, and I go to St. Andrews. I live in Jackson. Okay. This poem, I literally named it 5 minutes ago because I had no idea what to name it. So we're just going to go with We Know. Bruised faces aren't always caused by the underprivileged, underappreciated. Pigtails aren't always pulled by the stereotypical bullies with cool rides and rough faces with the money, though they are sometimes fueled by their egos and their racist friendships aren't crashed nearly as much by fights or misplaced feelings, but rather by petty arguments that involve screwed up texts and screwed up truces that revolved around false truths and confused lies with stereotypes that seep further into our subconscious more than anyone would care to counter or share. And important questions, ultimate, all-bearing, truth-seeking inquiries would have to be, why in the world can no one see these lies and filaments that choke at our throats and cause us to cough up pain and shame? How is it that people can shuffle blindly through life, not seeing the layers and layers of muck that suck at our dreams and spit them back in our faces as falsities and depressions, the pain of humanity too much to bear, our clothes and niceties too heavy to wear, bitterness and loneliness begging to be shared, and now the truth is too far gone to be brought back to the ground that we stand on, because no matter how hard we heave and we hoe, there's always Lazy Joe just sitting there with that dazed look on his face, smiling at us like we're God's gift to the world, looking up through his days to request that we take the time to stop our silly minds long enough to come down to the real world. But I'm sorry, does anyone else see the problem with this? So I let loose what I think about his silly mind, and I tell him what goes on in my real world. I show him faces and evidence, the colored tables that aren't merely divided by black and white, but by green and smell, curry or Tabasco, and it scares the heck out of him. He looks at me with mirror clear eyes, just long enough to look for a look of astonishment and maybe fear before he's dragged back under by the horde of hungry, grasping hands that support him as he reclines back into his position and mechanically repeats his comfortable historical evidence of things he's never seen as he attempts to lull me into his passive body and mind, and it nearly works before I realize how I pity him. He can't see past his nose enough to see that there's a movement, and it's moving at the speed of light while he's just sitting there mumbling his passive stereotypes.